The key turns in the lock. You push the door open, dropping your bag on the floor as the weight of the day finally slides off your shoulders. The hallway is dim, but you see the movement before you hear it. Your cat is waiting. You take 2 steps forward, and they drop to the floor. They arch their back, extending their front paws in a long, slow, deliberate stretch that pulls every muscle taut. It is a performance. You smile, step over them, and head toward the kitchen to start dinner. You have seen this 1,000 times. It is just a cat waking up, right? But what if you have been missing the point for years? That stretch is not a yawn. It is not a reflex. It is a message. You walk past it every single day, assuming it is just a physical need, but you are ignoring the most sophisticated signal your cat possesses. For the next 10 minutes, we are decoding the silent language of your companion. We are going to break down why that stretch is the most important thing they do all day. Stop for a moment. Look closer. The message is waiting. Consider the timing of that movement. If this were merely about stiff muscles or waking from a nap, your cat would stretch while alone in the sun. They would do it in the quiet corners of the house where they feel most at ease. But they do not. They wait for the sound of your key. They wait for your specific footsteps. Animal behaviorists call this a social stretch. It is a deliberate performance, a signal triggered exclusively by your presence. When you walk into a room, your cat's brain fires a clear, prioritized signal. This person matters. It is a biological choice to place you above everything else in their environment. If you have ever noticed your cat stretching for you, while pointedly ignoring guests or other people in the room, you are witnessing a hierarchy in real time. They are not just moving, they are declaring their allegiance. You are not just a roommate or a provider. In the complex social architecture of your home, you are the chosen one. The stretch is the proof. Now, look closer at the anatomy of the movement. During that long, full-body extension, your cat does something that defies every instinct they possess. They expose their belly. In the wild, the stomach is the most vulnerable organ, protected by layers of muscle and hidden by a low-to-the-ground posture. To a cat in the forest or the alley, exposing the belly is a death sentence. It is an invitation for a predator to strike. A cat who feels even a flicker of threat keeps their limbs tucked tight and their soft underbelly shielded from view. Yet, in your hallway, they roll out, arching their spine and presenting that soft, unprotected center directly to you. They are not being careless. They are making a conscious, biological choice to override thousands of years of survival programming. When they stretch in front of you, they are sending a signal to their own nervous system to stand down. They are silencing the internal alarm that says run or fight. By revealing their most vital point, they are stating a simple, profound truth. They are telling you that they are safe. They are confirming that in your presence, the need for vigilance has vanished. You have become their shield. Beyond the vulnerability of the belly, look at the paws. This is where the chemistry of your relationship becomes literal. Cats possess specialized scent glands located deep within their paw pads. When they perform that dramatic, full extension stretch, they are not just loosening muscles. They are pressing those pads firmly into the carpet, the hardwood, or the rug. With every downward push, they are secreting invisible pheromones into the fibers of your home. Think of it as a signature. They are claiming that specific square foot of space as their own, weaving their unique scent into the very fabric of your world. They are not merely living in your house. They are actively marking it as a shared territory. Every time they stretch, they are re-signing their name on the environment, reinforcing the boundaries of a space they consider mutual. This is a deliberate, physical act of ownership. They are telling the world that this room, this floor, and this life are tied to their presence. They are leaving a chemical map that says they belong here, and by extension, that you belong to them. It is a silent, persistent claim that turns your living space into a joint venture, defined by the invisible markers they leave behind. Consider the origin of this movement. If you look at the ancestors of your cat, or even their wild cousins roaming the forest today, you will find a striking absence. Wild cats do not greet each other with these long, dramatic stretches. They communicate through scent, vocalization, and posture, but they do not use the stretch as a social bridge. This specific behavior is a human-invented phenomenon. It evolved only after cats chose to live alongside us. It is a bridge they built to span the gap between two different species. This is not a habit inherited from ancient predators or a relic of survival in the desert. It is a custom created within the context of your relationship. They observed your movements, your presence, and your habits, and they developed a signal that you would recognize. They adapted their physical language to match your world. When they stretch for you, they are utilizing a tool that exists nowhere else in the animal kingdom. It is a bespoke form of communication, a bridge constructed one day at a time, designed specifically to reach you. They did not bring this behavior with them from the wild. They earned it through the history of your shared life. Now, observe the morning ritual. You wake up, and there they are, stretching beside you. It is easy to mistake this for a simple reaction to light or movement, but look closer at the timing. They have been awake for hours before you even open your eyes. While you were unconscious, vulnerable in the dark, they were not sleeping. They were patrolling the perimeter of the bed, listening to the house, and monitoring the shadows. They were the silent sentry of your bedroom. When the sun hits the window and you begin to stir, the threat level drops. That stretch you see is not just a yawn. It is the final, physical act of standing down. They are releasing the tension of their shift. They are letting go of the night's vigilance. Because you are now awake to take over, they are saying, "We made it through the dark together." This is the weight behind the movement. They are transitioning from a guardian back into a companion. It is a physical declaration that the watch is over. Now, consider the strategy behind the movement. Have you ever walked through a doorway and tripped over your cat? It is a common moment, often dismissed as a simple accident or a lack of coordination. But look at the placement. They are not standing in the middle of the room. They are positioned exactly where you must stop. They are blocking the threshold. This is not a failure of navigation. It is a calculated test of your awareness. They are placing themselves in the only path you can take to force a reaction. When you stop, when you look down, when you adjust your stride to avoid them, they have succeeded. They are testing their ability to command your attention in a high-traffic zone. They are measuring how much space they occupy in your daily life. If you walk past them without a glance, the test fails. If you pause, acknowledge their presence, or step carefully around them, the test is passed. This is a high-stakes moment for the relationship. They are not being clumsy. They are being intentional. They are checking the strength of the bond. But what happens if the test is ignored? If you walk past that threshold day after day without a glance, the behavior changes. The cat learns. They observe the lack of response and adjust their strategy. They stop placing themselves in your path. They stop the dramatic arch of the back. They stop the deliberate extension of the paws. The stretch, once a vibrant signal of trust, simply vanishes. You might think they have become more independent, or perhaps less demanding, but you are witnessing the erosion of a bridge. They are not becoming less social. They are concluding that the message is no longer being received. When you stop acknowledging the signal, they stop sending it. The hallway becomes empty. The doorway is no longer a site of interaction, but merely a space to pass through. The cat remains in the room, but they no longer engage. They watch you from a distance, head turned away, limbs tucked tight against their body. When that request goes unanswered, the silence that follows is the final, stark result of a bond left unmaintained. This silence is not permanent. The bridge can be rebuilt, but it requires a shift in your own behavior. Start by changing your entry. Do not walk through the door as if you are alone. Stop. Look for them. When you find them, do not rush to the kitchen. Give them a slow, deliberate blink. Speak their name in a low, steady tone. Reach out and offer a gentle touch to the top of their head. These are not just gestures, they are signals. You are telling them that the channel is open again. You are confirming that you see them. Watch what happens next. The tension in their shoulders will break. They will shift their weight, lower their head, and eventually, they will extend those front paws once more. The stretch returns. It is a physical dialogue, a loop of trust that only completes when you participate. You are not just a roommate to this animal. You are the anchor of their world. When you acknowledge the stretch, you are validating their choice to trust you. You are saying that you are present, that you are listening, and that you are part of the same territory. The hallway is no longer just a path. It is a space of mutual belonging. You walk through the door, you see them, they see you, and the cycle of trust begins again. It was never just a stretch, it was an invitation. And now, you have finally accepted it.